What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how you guys can go ahead and potentially beat Raid Boss AKAINU. Now, this guy is probably the hardest raid boss that we've had on Global since Shiki. I think Shiki's probably like the most difficult, and this guy coming out probably dethrones him for the most difficult. Obviously, you got like Kizaru and Boa who are really hard, but this AKAINU takes the cake. Very difficult. The stages before him are also really difficult as well, and the final boss himself can also be very difficult because there are only some specific teams that can actually beat this guy effectively. So it's going to be very hard for a lot of people to actually beat this guy and farm him effectively. But in this video, we're going to break down the unit himself, all of the 5 stages, and some potential teams that you guys might be able to build in order to beat Raid Boss AKAINU. So first of all, let's go ahead and break down this brand new Raid Boss character being AKAINU Magma Man. So he is a 5-star character that does evolve from the droppable 4-star unit, and he is a strength-driven fighter character, and at max level, at level 99, he has 3168 health, 1444 attack, and 99 recovery. So his health and attack powers are very strong, and he does lack in the recovery department. However, you know, recovery isn't really a huge stat for the most part in Treasure Cruise, so having amazing health and attack is just a massive plus for this guy. Now, he does have 50 cost, and he does have 3 socket spots as well. And his captain ability will boost the attack by 3 times to all characters, following a chain of strength, and then strength characters. Attacks no lower than good. So as long as you attack with 3 strength characters first, making sure that you're hitting good or better, then you're going to be getting 3 times attack for your following 3 characters, no matter what attribute or class they are. So it's actually a pretty good captain ability, but you do have to rely on having 3 strength characters on your team, otherwise you don't get any attack boost. So that's sort of the downside to this guy, but if you can sort of, get past that, then it's actually not a terrible captain ability, but you are sort of limited to hitting with your strength characters first, meaning that unless you're running like a full strength team, then no strength characters are really going to be doing much damage to the opponent. So, you take it as you will. It probably is better to run as a full strength team with this guy as a captain, but there probably are just better units just in general as a captain. But let's move on to his special ability. So it starts at 32 turns and maxes at 17 turns, and it deals 50 times his attack in strength damage to all enemies. It changes orbs for strength characters into strength orbs, and then boosts the color affinity of strength characters by 1.75 for 1 turn. So this is a huge special, and so let's just overview it really quick. So it does 50 times his attack in strength damage to all enemies, lots of AoE damage. Then strength characters on your crew automatically get matching orbs, really good special. And then boost the color affinity of strength characters by 1.75. So if you guys just need a refresher on what color affinity actually is, if you guys remember the Tashigi, the new rare recruit Tashigi in the Kizaru batch, does the same sort of thing. Color affinity relates to doing more damage to colors that you're already super effective to. So for strength characters in general, they do 2 times attack to dex characters. Now what that means is that 2 times is times by 1.75 times with the color affinity boost. So this is really strong for taking on dex raid bosses with this guy on your team. If you're running a full strength team, having this guy on there is really good. They get all matching orbs for your strength characters, and when you're attacking dex units, you do an extra 1.75 times on top of that. So it's crazy how much damage output that this AKAINU can provide to strength teams. So now that we've overviewed the unit, let's go ahead and start overviewing all of the 5 stages of the Raid Boss Dungeon. So, stage number 1 has a whole bunch of different characters, as you can see on screen. We have a turtle, regular daimyo turtle, which has 5 HP. We have an elder turtle, which has 9 HP, a lobster with 15 HP, and the seahorse with 7 HP. And all these guys have really decent defensive stats as well. And usually these are the type of characters that you want to be stalling on. Not the seahorse, but if you leave the seahorse alive on the first turn, the next turn, he will go ahead and seal or chain one of your units for 6 turns, and then the bazooka guy at the back, the red bazooka character, will go ahead and blind you for 10 turns when he's below 50% HP, so you do have to be very careful about that. And the blue pistol character, the blue female marine character, will heal everyone on the enemy side of the field every single turn if they are damaged, so you do have to take that into consideration as well. Moving on to stage number 2, it is filled with a whole bunch of different marine characters, and this is where something really interesting will happen. So, there is a preemptive attack by one of these marine characters, and what they will do is apply a new debuff to your crew. And what this debuff is, it will make it so that no matter what you do, you can no longer heal for the rest of the dungeon. For 98 turns, you can no longer heal. So, this means that zombie teams are pretty much out of the question straight away, not until we get future units that will deal with this debuff. But yeah, this debuff means that characters that use healing effects like NL will no longer work. You can no longer heal with NL. Marco can no longer heal with his special. You can't get any recovery back from recovery orbs. So when this debuff is applied to your team, whatever your HP is at that current time, you're no longer going to be going above that. It will only get lower and lower throughout the rest of the dungeon. So definitely teams that rely on being at full health or at a high HP range are not really that good for this dungeon. They really struggle with this dungeon, and so that means that teams that require being at low health or don't really have a health requirement are definitely better teams for this dungeon. So stage number 3 is filled with a whole bunch of different marine characters, and the middle decks guy has a preemptive attack that will go ahead and change your captain with one of your other units in your middle row. So you're going to make sure that the units in your middle row have actually pretty decent captain abilities so that you can actually withstand this room. Otherwise, you're probably going to be taking a lot of damage from this room. But not only that, the strength guy, or just one of these units in general, will go ahead and make perfects harder to hit for 2 turns. So once again, it's going to be pretty hard to actually clear this room out. This is probably the most difficult sub room of the whole dungeon, just for the fact that your captain does get swapped. So, you know, team composition really does matter for this raid boss. Now we move on to the second last stage before reaching the final stage on stage 5. We have just a whole bunch of different marine characters once again, but no special abilities are really activated on this stage. They just have a lot of HP, so they're really tanky, and they do actually a lot of damage as well. So I wouldn't really recommend taking hits from these guys if you can avoid it, because they do a lot of damage. But yeah, the int characters have a lot of HP on this room, so you do have to take that into consideration. Make sure you maybe perhaps save a couple of matching orbs if you can, so that you can take down these guys reasonably quickly. So now we reach the final boss, AKAINU. So this guy right here has 4,281,600 HP. 4.2 million HP, very tanky, and an attack power of 12,816 on a 2-turn cooldown. Now that 2-turn cooldown does change throughout the dungeon, but his preemptive attack will go ahead and apply a debuff, which means that every single turn, no matter what, you are going to be taking 30% of your current HP as damage. So you're always going to be taking damage throughout this whole stage 5 of this dungeon. Very annoying. As I said before, you know, that's why teams with you know, health requirements or that need to be really high HP are really bad for this dungeon, because, you know, you're going to be taking 30% of damage every single turn. And then he'll also swap your orbs. That will swap them to strength orbs. However, if you already have recovery orbs or negative orbs, I believe those ones are kept on your crew. Don't quote me on it though, but I know he will swap every other orb into strength orbs. Then on turn 2, he will go ahead and apply a 44,000 damage to your crew, change his interval down to 1, clear all debuffs, and then shuffle your orbs like his preemptive. So what happens is he activates his preemptive attack, as we've already established. There is a turn where he doesn't do anything, and then on turn 2, he does the damage, changes his interval, clears all debuffs, and then shuffles the orbs. Now, he does do something under 20%. He'll do over 400,000 damage to you, so, you know, in most cases, you're going to be dying at that point. So definitely do not get this guy under 20% and he's ready to attack. Otherwise, you will most likely get killed. However, if you do end up killing this guy, when he falls at 0% HP, he revives with 33% of his HP. Then he will blow away the unit that actually killed AKAINU. So the final unit that you used in your chain to kill away AKAINU will go ahead and be blown back, similar to the Kuma raid boss, which is very annoying. So you gotta make sure that you don't kill him with your captain. If you do that, then your captain is blown away and you're gonna be losing all of your leader skills. Very bad. So make sure, do not kill him with your captain. Then he will apply a delay protector for 98 turns, and then raise his attack power for 98 turns. Now, when he raises his attack power, he raises it by about 2,000 to go up to over 14,000 attack every single turn. Then, after he is revived, he will attack you every single turn, as I said, for 14,000, and then every second turn, he removes all debuffs, so you do have to be very, very careful about that. So, you know, he has a lot of HP, really, really annoying, does lots and lots of damage, and then he revives, and then does even more damage, so you do have to be very, very careful about that. And, yeah, you do have to be, it's just, this guy's so hard, and, like, as I said at the start of the video, there aren't really that many teams on Global that can clear him effectively, so now we're going to be heading into a couple of teams that you guys might be able to build in order to take down AKAINU. So the first team I am going to suggest to you guys is the brand new Super Evolved 5-star plus Luffy. Now this guy, if you guys don't know what he does, as a captain, he boosts everyone by 2.25 attack and everyone's HP by 1.25. Really good. And then if you hit 4 perfects in a row, you get an extra 1.25 attack. So he actually has a really, really solid captain ability, and you partner that up with a Legend Aokiji. And what he does is he boosts everyone by 1.25 HP and 2 times attack, and every time you kill something, the turn after that, you get an extra boost of attack, and that stacks 8 times up to 3.5 times attack. So ideally, what you want is you're gonna stall correctly. It's very, very hard to stall with Aokiji. You have to really know what you're doing, but if you stall correctly, you'll arrive at the AKAINU raid, the final stage, and you'll have your maximum multiplier up on your Aokiji, and then you can go ahead on the very first turn. Make sure you don't stall on that one turn, otherwise Aokiji loses all of his captain ability. But on that first turn, go ahead and use all your specials, which is your Lucci. Make sure you use your NL and then your Dofi, and then you can use your Aokiji to lock those orbs. That's very, very important. But make sure you use NL first and then use your Aokiji. Otherwise, you'll have Aokiji boosting strikers. I guess that would kind of work, but I guess NL just boosts by more. So you could potentially do that if you really wanted to. But then you can actually extend the amount of turns that your orb and type boost go for with your Legend Aokiji friend special. So that is why this guy is super, super useful. But as I said, you do have to clear him in that one turn. Otherwise, you pretty much die at that point. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. So this team actually works really, really well, does lots and lots of damage, and is able to kill AKAINU in one turn. Then, when he revives, you'll still have your orb and type boost with the Legend Aokiji special, which extends it by one turn, and then you can kill him off in the second turn. Next team I'm going to suggest to you guys is a double log Luffy team, and with this team, the whole theory of it is when you reach the final room against AKAINU and he changes all of your orbs to strength, you can go ahead and use your Capone special to change them to blue, which is really good for your NL and your Capone, and then you can use your Luffy specials to do lots of damage, and as well as giving him matching orbs. Then what you can do is use your NL special to 2 times attack to your quick characters, then use your Dofi for the 2 times orb burst, and then just attack him, and you can kill him off in one turn. And then what you want to go ahead and do is use your Mihawk after that, which will go ahead and just kill him off after he revives. Works really, really well. But with this team, you don't have to use it on the first turn. You can wait that first turn if you really wanted to, which is absolutely fine. But make sure not to actually use all those orbs up, because then Capone doesn't get any orbs to convert. So if you really wanted to, you can do that, but you are running the risk of, you know, potentially not getting matching orbs, which is kind of bad. So you do have to be very, very careful with that. But yeah, this team, I'm pretty sure this team has enough damage output to kill him off in one turn, and then use the Legend Mihawk special to kill him off in the revive turn. So now we move on to the Crocodile team, which is the last team I am going to suggest to you guys. Now this team is actually pretty good. It does a lot of damage to AKAINU, and what you want to go ahead and do is on turn number 1 against AKAINU, you can just do regular attacks. And then on the second turn of AKAINU, you can go ahead and use your Heracles and your Legendary Flamingo, which if you use the right orb manipulation, you can get a full board of matching orbs. Then you can go ahead and use one of your Crocodile specials, along with the Nico Robin to put you at 1 HP. Now with this specific team, you pretty much need level 1 auto heal. If you don't have level 1 auto heal at least, you pretty much cannot run this team. But if you don't have level 1 auto heal, then you can go ahead and swap out your killer for Khalifa, the CP9 Blue Khalifa, who will go ahead and nullify all damage for one turn as long as you activate the special below 20% HP. So you can do that if you want. That will work just as fine, I believe, but Killer gives you so much more damage output. He has so much more attack than what Khalifa has, and if you have level 1 auto heal, this is probably the most optimal team for Crocodile that you will probably want to run. And after he revives, you can go ahead and use one of your Croc specials, and you don't even need a second orb booster for that, and you can go ahead and kill him off in that second turn, as long as you are hitting all your perfects, of course. However, you do have to be very, very careful with the unit that you use to actually knock out AKAINU himself, making sure that you don't use either your captains or, you know, your blue units. I would highly recommend keeping your blue units alive if you can, and try and kill him off with either Heracles or Nico Robin so that you can deal as much damage as you possibly can on the revive turn. So that is going to conclude today's video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.